Alright guys, the Wailing Caverns card set was just completely revealed, so let's go over the card set as a family and see what cards we like, what cards we don't. Remember to like and subscribe and all that junk. So number one, we're going to start with the neutral cards. We have Meeting Stone, a 1 mana, 0 attack, 2 health card with the effect at the end of your turn, add a 2/2 adventurer with a random bonus effect to your hand. I'm going to be honest, this card is pretty poopy. I do like the introduction of the adventurers, which I'll get to after this, but this card probably won't see any play in Standard or Wild, and in Arena, it'll be okay. It'll generate at least one minion, hopefully a good one, and if you have some buffs, you can always use it on the Meeting Stone to make it into an actual useful minion. So at least it has a place in Arena. The Adventurers are just tokens, 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health. They go from Divine Shield, Taunt, Rush, Wind Fury, Stealth, Poison, Spell Damage +1, and Lifesteal. The art is great on them. I love that aspect of them. Unfortunately, you're not going to want most of these whenever you do summon an adventurer. I feel like the ones you really want are Divine Shield, Rush, and Poison. Of course, there are situations where you'd want the other ones, but I feel like those are the best ones. And yeah, they're pretty cool. I like them. Next up, we have the Devouring Ectoplasm, a 3 mana 3/2 with the Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 adventurer with a random bonus effect. This one is another card that it's good, especially compared to much older cards, but it's not quite good enough for the current game in Standard or Wild. Maybe in some sort of Death Rattle N'Zoth deck you could put it in, but this is primarily another Arena card. This will be really good in Arena. Next up, we have the Selfless Sidekick, a 7 mana, 6 attack, 6 health minion with the battle cry, equip a random weapon from your deck. I don't think this card is very good. A 7 mana, 6/6, poor stats. The battle cry is good, but not on a 7 mana minion, unfortunately. There's no real combo you could do with this, and if you really want a random weapon, whether it's in your deck or not, just go to Wild and run Blingtron. Who cares? It just doesn't really work out. Again, in Arena, this card is actually pretty good. Assuming you have a weapon in your deck and you draw this beforehand, on turn 7, you're looking for your weapon, you don't have it, well, you could just play this. And that's really solid for Arena, unless you don't have weapons or you already drew them, in which case this sucks. So it's either fairly decent or it's a big poopy boy. And we're gonna take the positive approach for this card. Okay, now the neutral legendary Mutinous Mutanus? Mutinous the Devourer. A 7 mana 4/4. Battle cry, eat a minion in your opponent's hand, gain its stats. I think this card will see play. I don't know if it's gonna be any good. I don't know if it's gonna be meta defining, but I think a bunch of people are going to throw this in a deck and be happy when it works. I think it's a good card. I think in Standard it'll see play to counter combo decks. I think in Wild it'll see play because it's Wild and you see everything there. And in Arena, well, you'll probably not get this legendary, but if you do, this is going to be amazing. This is an amazing legendary to get in Arena because your opponent will have one less card and you'll have a big monster on the board. Definitely one of my favorite cards of the set. And the last of the neutral cards is Archdruid Nerolex, a 3 mana, 3 attack, 3 health that goes dormant for 2 turns, and while dormant, adds a dream card to your hand at the end of your turn. I think this card is pretty solid. All the dream cards are really powerful, and getting them as early as turn 3, turn 4, especially if you get a couple of the better ones, you're sitting pretty. This is a great card, and I think this is going to be in a lot of decks. Likewise, in Arena, I think this is one of the best choices for a legendary. It gives you a couple extra very powerful cards at the start. Getting this as a 3-drop in Arena could win you the game. An awesome card. I love it. I love this big sleepy boy. Look at him. Alright, now for the class cards, we'll start with Demon Hunter. They have a Fell Rattler. A 3 mana, 3 attack, 2 health minion with Rush. Not bad. And the Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. This is solid. This is a solid card, especially for Demon Hunter, which has a lot of Death Rattle synergy. It's got the benefits of the 2 mana, 3 damage spells, along with Whirlwind effect, basically, if it dies. So I think it's going to be a great option for board clear, a nice Rush and Death Rattle minion for great synergy. And of course, in Arena, this is going to be an amazing card. Demon Hunter just got a little bit better in Arena. Next up is the Demon Hunter spell, Sigil of Summoning. Costs 2 mana, and at the start of your next turn, summon 2 2/2 demons with Taunt. At first, I thought maybe this would get play in Arena, but nowhere else. But you know what? It could be a decent card if you're playing some weird form of control, but likely it's not going to see much of any play. But in Arena, this is a solid card, a nice boost for Demon Hunter in Arena. The third and last Demon Hunter card is Taint Heart Tormentor. Say that 5 times fast. Taint Heart Tormentor, Taint Heart Tormentor, Taint Heart Tormentor, Taint Heart Tormentor, Taint Heart Tormentor. 8 mana cost, 8/8 with Taunt, and your opponent's spell costs 2 more. Unfortunately, this card is much too slow to see any play in Classic or Standard. At 8 mana, you want to have a bit more than an 8/8 with Taunt that makes some spells cost more. It's a nice card, very thoughtful of Blizzard to put it out, but it won't see any play competitively. But in Arena, definitely a nice addition to the Arena for Demon Hunters. Is the Taint Heart Tormentor a new McDonald's product? 'Cause I'm loving it. Welcome to the Arena, baby. Next up is Druid, and a card that we all knew was coming, Deviate Dreadfang, an 8 mana cost, 4 attack, 9 health. After you cast a nature spell, summon a 4/2 Viper with Rush. I actually think this card is really good. I think it's going to be a little slow, but I do think it has the potential to have a deck made around this or made around tokens and buffing them. I don't think this is a write-off because of its high mana cost. I do think there is a lot of potential, and I think it has to be played around with. So right now it's questionable, but very high potential. In Wild, you could maybe do the same if you're lucky, but it's too slow for Wild. And in Arena, this is just amazing. If you get offered this and you don't take it, I'm wondering what you're doing, unless it's at the end and you don't have a lot of nature spells. If you have a couple nature spells and this is your choice, take it, no question. The second Druid card is Fangbound Druid, a 3 mana 4/3 with Taunt, and a Death Rattle, reduce the cost of a beast in your hand by 2. Great synergy with the previous card, and on its own, a 3 mana 4/3, pretty decent stats. It has Taunt, really good Death Rattle if you're running Beast Druid, so I think this is a good card. I think if you were running Beast, some sort of Beast Druid deck, if you're running the previously mentioned deck with the Deviate, I don't really see a place for it in Wild, but in Standard, yeah, maybe Taunt Druid is a thing. Yeah, someone out there make it. In Arena, this is a really good card if you can get some Beast synergy. Solid card in Arena. Most of these cards have been really, really good in Arena. Is this just an Arena mini set? Blizzard, are you just trying to give us Arena cards? And finally, the Druid legendary, Lady Anaconda herself. My Anaconda don't want none unless you got 6 mana, 3 attack, and 7 health, and your nature spells cost 2 less. This card is absolutely going to have a deck built around this feature of nature spells cost 2 less. There's going to be some crazy shenanigans involving nature spells. This is going to be amazing to see what comes of Lady Anaconda. The card itself, it doesn't matter. The stats don't matter. It's just the mana cost and your nature spells cost 2 less. What can you do with that? I've already seen some people theorizing about the wacky crap that you can do, and now it's just a matter of pulling it off. So I wish you guys good luck. Right now, I think it's going to be great. Let me know what happens. In Arena, not a very good card. Next up is Hunter with this cute little boy Serpent Bloom for 0 mana. Give a friendly beast poisonous. Now, I just like Serpent Bloom because I always leveled up a lot of Horde characters, and I always remembered the quest to collect all the Serpent Bloom, and it's such a nice throwback. This is honestly one of the most nostalgic mini sets that they've done. I love it. and this artwork is super cute. Giving a friendly beast poisonous, I think that's really good, especially for 0 mana to get through big taunts. Hunter is generally a very aggressive face hunter deck, so if you can give one of your 1/1 rush hyenas with poisonous and take out that massive taunt that's in your way, this is going to be a good card, even just throwing one of these in. So I think it does have a place in Standard. In Wild, this is another 0 mana spell. Throw on a lock and load and go crazy with it. In Arena, this is okay if you have some beasts. Poisonous is really strong. I don't think it's that great. I think most of the time you'll probably have a better choice, but it's not the worst choice in the world if you have beast synergy. And now we have Cindereye Scentfinder, a 4 mana 1/6 with Frenzy. Summon 4 1/1 hyenas with Rush. I don't like this card. I think it's really poor. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. The stats aren't like super great. The frenzy, yeah, I think they're just better ways to get yourself some hyenas with Rush. It's just not a great card. That's it. I don't think this is gonna see play in Standard. I don't think it's gonna see play in Wild, and even in Arena. In Arena, it's okay. I'll say it's okay because you could probably set it off as it is. It's just pretty good in Arena, and that's about it. And lastly, Hunter got a weapon, Venom Strike Bow. Ooh. This is actually the name of the bow that drops off of Lord Serpentis in Wailing Caverns, so that's really cool. 4 mana, 1 attack, 2 durability, poison. I think if you're playing some form of control hunter, it could see some use for you, but probably in most decks, it's not going to be included in Standard or Wild. And in Arena, I think this is actually really strong. You don't really mind taking some face damage if you're gonna take out your opponent's big minions and win the game in the next 2 turns, right? So I think it's really great for Arena in that case. Oh baby, on to Mage. We got Flowcaster, where flow is spelled with an E because we're edgy. It's a 6 mana 5/5, costs 2 less for each frozen enemy. I don't know if anyone's told Blizzard, but nobody really likes freezing enemies. We usually just like killing them straight out. I don't think this is that good of a card. Even if this costs 2 mana, minions are not Mage's win condition. I don't think this is a very good card that will see any play in Standard or Wild. Even in Arena, you're not freezing enough to have good synergy. Don't pick it. It's pack filler to me. Sorry, Flowcaster. And now we have the Frostweave Dungeoneer, one of the Dungeoneers that was revealed earlier on. A 3 mana 2/3 battlecry draw a spell. If it's a frost spell, summon 2 1/1 elementals that freeze. They're really pushing that freeze thing, huh? And it's nice to have draw, but Mage already has draw. Better draw than just a 3 mana 2/3 draw a spell. Not gonna see play in Standard. Not gonna see play in Wild. I know you're trying to make Frost Mage a thing, Blizzard, but it's not enough yet. But in Arena, this is a pretty good card because you're getting that draw. And if you just get super lucky and it's a frost spell, that's even better. It goes from a good card to an amazing card. And for the last Mage card, we have a 3 mana spell, Shattering Blast, which destroys all frozen minions. Now there are combos for freezing, the last 2 cards we just went over, and the legendary that freezes all minions, but I'm gonna be honest, there's not enough. This isn't a win condition that you get. It's just a board clear combo. And that's not good enough to have all these cards come together to have that board swing that isn't even very good. So I don't think this is gonna see any play again. If they want to make Frozen a thing, they need more better cards out there to make it a thing in Standard and Wild. And in Arena, this sucks. Don't get it. That's it. Sorry, Mage fans. Alright, moving on to Paladin. We have a 1 mana secret called Judgment of Justice. When an enemy minion attacks, set its attack and health to 1. Another secret for Secret Paladin, and it's a pretty good one. I don't know if it's going to be switched out with one of the other secrets or another card in the deck, but I think this definitely could see play in Standard. It is pretty solid, and in Wild, I think it'll see play as well in another Secret Paladin deck. So it's a good card for Paladin. Good for them. In Arena, this is definitely a solid card, especially for later in the game when the minions are so big. This could really help you out with trades by leaving a bigger minion up. Although Rush might be a problem, I still think this is a very solid choice in Arena. A great card added to Paladin. And next up, we've got Party Up! Ooh, a 7 mana paladin spell that summons 5 2/2 adventurers with random bonus effects. That's the adventurers that we talked about earlier with all the different keyword effects. I think this is a really cool card. Unfortunately, I don't think it's quite good enough to see play in Standard or in Wild. I do understand it's a 7 mana for 10/10 worth of stats. That's really good, but with Paladin's playstyle, it could maybe see some play in Control, but there are just better options. It's very random, so you want that consistency. So Standard and Wild are out, but luckily we have Arena. And in Arena, this is going to be an amazing card because, you know, you want those extra random effects. You want to maybe get that poison to take out the big minion. You want to get those divine shields to survive the board clear that's coming up, or to get some good trades in. Solid card in Arena, a little expensive, but that's probably the main place it's going to see play. And last but not least, for Paladins, they get another weapon. Sort of. It's a buckler. It's Seed Cloud Buckler. Another solid throwback to the weapons from Wailing Caverns. Loving the nostalgia. It's a 3 mana, 2 attack, 3 durability weapon, and the death rattle is give your minions divine shield. It seems to be a pretty good card, but it's 3 mana. If it was 2 mana, I would say, yeah, run this all day, but it's 3 mana and I think it's a little too expensive. You could break it with another weapon. That's basically all you would use it for, but there are other cards to give your minions divine shields, and I don't think this is the best choice for that. So I don't think it's going to see any play in Standard or Wild, but in Arena, this is a solid choice. Absolutely, weapons are top tier, and a weapon that will help you out with trades is even better. A great choice for Arena. Alright, moving on to Priesty. The Priesty boys, the Holy Men of Light, have Against All Odds, a 5 mana spell that destroys all odd attack minions. That's so interesting, and it's too bad that I think it sucks. I really want this card to be good. How do you make this happen? How do you make this work for 5 mana? I don't know how you would. Maybe someone smarter than me can tell me how you can make this work consistently in Standard or Wild, but I can't see it. I don't know why it's an epic. I don't know why it's 5 mana. I like the weirdness of it, that it's destroy all odd attack minions, but I don't see it seeing play. Even in Arena, I wouldn't draft this. What if I have an odd minion? I can't just change the attack. If it said all odd health minions, I can maybe get on board because you can adjust that a little more within your enemies and your own minions. But as it is, I think this is a very interesting card that I'll probably try to use at some point in Arena. But overall, not good enough, unfortunately. You could say this card is trying to be good against all odds. Okay, well, next we have Cleric of Anshi, a 1 mana minion with 1 attack, 2 health, and a battle cry. If you've restored health this turn, discover a spell from your deck. I think this is a great card. Priest doesn't have a lot of options for card draw, and this is even better because you get to discover the certain spell that you do need in that situation. I think it's pretty close. It's not a great minion, but I think it will probably be used in some Priest decks, at least at the start. Maybe they'll get phased out. Maybe they're not good enough. I think they're good at the very least, so they will be tested. In Wild, honestly, I have no idea. And in Arena, I think this is going to be amazing because you always want that card draw, especially when you get to select which spell you want. This is going to be big in Arena. And finally, the card that we got revealed to us last week, it is Devoured Dungeoneer, the 3 mana 2/3 battle cry, draw a spell. If it's a holy spell, reduce its cost by 2. Man, they are really pushing this priest drawing spells thing. This is very similar to the previous card, allowing priest to get more draw, and this one, reducing the cost, makes it a lot easier to build up your combo. I think that this card, with the previous card and the other cost reduction and discovery effects that priest does have, I think this is going to be included in a deck with the previous card. In a deck, I'm not sure exactly what what, but I do have a good feeling about this card for some sort of standard deck. And in Arena, an excellent card, because you could literally only draft holy spells if you wanted, and this will go off 100% of the time, reducing its cost. It's a great card. Moving on to Rogue, we have the 1 mana cost spell, Savory Deviate Delight. These were tasty back in the day, turning you into a pirate or a ninja. I love these. This is great. Transform a minion in both players' hands into a pirate or a stealth minion. I think this is a fantastic card. It's really weird. It really messes with the game. It adds that touch of randomness that I love Hearthstone for. I don't think it's going to be used too much in competitive Hearthstone, though if there are a lot of combo decks, this can really disrupt them, along with Mutanus the Devourer. But this one unfortunately also disrupts you, so it's going to be really hard to actually get a lot of value out of it. In the end, it's Hearthstone, and this is a really fun game, a really fun card added to it, so I think a lot of people are going to add this to Rogue decks just to mess around. And for that, it's one of my favorite cards of the set. In Arena, probably not the best, but it could be good. It's, you know what, I would draft it just because it's fun. Let's turn some minions into ninjas and pirates, baby. Next up for the Rogue, another spell, the 3 mana Shroud of Concealment. You get to draw 2 minions, and any played this turn gains stealth for 1 turn. As much as I love this card, I don't know if it's gonna see any play. Board clears are a thing, random target selection is a thing. Any minions that you do play will probably get wiped out by board clear, but I do think there is a lot of cheesy potential for this card. If you draw a very high attack minion that gains stealth, that's solid. If you can draw something that has its cost reduced, or if you can reduce the cost of this, maybe with preparation, I think this can make for some real big setups. I haven't thought of any, but just looking at this card, it makes me tingly all over thinking of the ridiculous things that people are going to come up with, especially in Wild. I think something's going to come out where there is just nonsense set up with this card. As for Arena, it's a solid card. 3 mana, draw 2 minions. Fantastic. Rogues are getting buffed in Arena, baby. And last but not least for the Rogue, they get a sneaky boy, the Water Moccasin, a 3 mana, 2 attack, 5 health beast with stealth, and it has poisonous while you have no other minions. This is an Arena card. Plain and simple. It's never going to see play in Standard or Wild. This is just a straight up Arena card, and it's going to be a pretty good Arena card too. A 3 mana 2/5, decent stats. It gets stealth, and if you don't have any other minions, it gets poisonous and can just kill anything. Yeah, solid Arena card, absolutely. Mwah, masterpiece. Moving on to Shaman. Please, Blizzard, help Shaman. Oh, it's a 1 mana spell. It's called Perpetual Flame. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. If it dies, recast this. Overload 1. Why did you have to give it Overload 1, Blizzard? This would have been a great card for Shaman if there was no Overload. You know, I could justify the Overload if you got to choose at least the initial enemy minion. Luckily, it does work really, really well against aggro decks, so maybe we can start seeing some sort of control elemental Shaman, but I just wish they had made it a little better because Shaman is basically unplayable, except for at lower ranks. Overall, I do think it's a good card. I am a little negative about it because Shaman, but it is a good card. I think it'll see play if a new Shaman deck does come out with elementals and some Overload synergy or something. In Arena, it's a great card. Yeah, pretty good. You get to recast it a whole bunch. It's solid. And Shaman's Dungeoneer, the Primal Dungeoneer, 3 mana 2/3. Battlecry, draw a spell. If it's a nature spell, also draw an elemental. And this is where I was getting at. If you can make this deck work with elementals and nature spells. Unfortunately, the previous card was a fire spell, not a nature spell, which really sucks because they had the potential to give great synergy to boost up Shaman, and they just didn't do it. But alone, this card, it's okay. You can probably throw it in a deck and maybe it'll be enough, but honestly, a 3-mana 2/3, it's not going to be enough to carry Shaman back up there with the likes of Paladin and Priest and Warlock. It's a good card though, and I think people are going to mess around with it, and I hope that someone can find a way to make Shaman great again. In Arena, this is a really good card. You get to draw, even if you don't get to draw the elemental, you still get to draw a spell. That's huge. Another great Arena card. Like I said, this is the Arena mini set. And lastly for Shaman, they get a 1-mana minion with 1 attack, 3 health called Wailing Vapor. And Wailing Vapor, after you play an elemental, it gains 1 attack. Woo! It's also an elemental, which is great. So at least you get a little more elemental synergy. At least this doesn't have an overload on it, which is really nice. So if you do make an elemental deck, I do think this one will be included. So I'm really hoping Elemental Shaman can get out there because that would be a great deck. In Arena, this is a decent card if you can get some elemental synergy, but even in Arena, if you can get a 1-drop out there on turn 1, it's solid. Pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. Alrighty, Warlock. Warlock got Final Gasp. Ooh. A 1-mana spell where deals 1 damage to a minion. If it dies, summon a 2/2 adventurer with a random bonus effect. Interesting. Why would you run this over Mortal Coil? Well, you would do so in Arena when it doesn't particularly matter because you just take what you're offered. So this is an Arena card because if you have a deck, you have all of the cards specifically in that deck for a purpose, and you don't want just a 2/2 random adventurer that gives you a random effect. Just run Mortal Coil. Don't run this. This is a poor card for Standard and Wild, but a great card for Arena. I'm glad that we're getting so many Arena cards. Next up for Warlock, we have Stealer of Souls. I don't really know how this fits the Wailing Caverns theme exactly, but it's a 4-mana, 2-attack, 6-health demon, and after you draw a card, change its cost to health instead of mana. I think this is a great card for Warlock. I think this is definitely going to see play in a lot of different Warlock decks because Warlocks don't care about their health. You can just take it away. I don't need it. I'm gonna, go chill with Gul'dan and the Fellfire. And if you get a really solid card you want to play, but you can't play because you don't have mana, well, you got health. Like, that's great. Solid. Yes, absolutely. A great card for Warlock. Honestly, even better in Arena. This is a great card overall. I love it. Thank you, Blizzard. And lastly for Warlock, we have Unstable Shadow Blast, a 2-mana card. Deals 6 damage to a minion. Excess damage hits your hero. It's a shadow spell. And like I was saying, Warlocks don't really tend to care if they take some health damage. And having a 2-mana, 6 damage to a minion's removal spell, this is going to be great for Control Warlock. Great additions for Warlock. I think this will definitely be run. Even if you take 1, 2, 3 points of damage, you're getting another removal spell. This is fantastic. And in Arena, again, even better because you don't care. You just want the minion removed. You want to gain tempo. You want to keep moving and gain a bigger board. Great job with the Warlock cards, at least the last 2. Great job. I love them. I love them. And finally, we have Warrior with their own legendary Kresh, Lord of Turtling. I remember running Wailing Caverns back in the day, and even though Kresh was a passive minion, you always had to kill him because he gave one of the best shields at that level. So it's really nice seeing him finally in Hearthstone as a 6-mana, 3-attack, 9-health minion with the Frenzy, gain armor. Just gain armor, whatever amount. Gain 8 armor, and a Death Rattle, equip a 2/5 Turtle Spike. I'm going to start off with Arena. It's a fantastic Arena card if you can get it. Obviously, it's a legendary. I don't know if this is good enough to put into a Warrior deck. If it was the Battlecry, gain 8 armor, I think it would be. You don't really need a 2/5 Turtle Spike as a weapon, unless the weapon has some effect that I don't know about. It seems to be just a solid card, but not good enough. So I love it. I love the design. I love the card itself, but unfortunately, it's probably not going to see too much play play in Standard and Wild, unfortunately. But who knows? I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want to see this bad boy on the field. Next, we have Man at Arms, a 2-mana 2/3 with the battle cry. If you have a weapon equipped, gain +1/+1. I almost liked this card. I really did. I almost thought this was going to be a great card. Unfortunately, it's not a pirate. If it was a pirate, I think Pirate Warrior might make a comeback. But no, it's just a 2-mana 2/3 that gets a little buff if you have a weapon, which is great, but I don't think it's quite strong enough. Fortunately, we have Arena, baby, and that's where Man-at-Arms shine. If you can get a weapon equipped, this 2-mana 3/4 is a pretty decent pick. Not the strongest, but definitely not a bad one. Again, another arena card. And finally, the last card of the set, we have the 1-mana cost warrior weapon, the Whiststone Hatchet, baby. 1 attack, 4 durability after your hero attacks. Give a minion in your hand +1 attack. This is an interesting card. You might think this is an arena card. You would be right. I don't think this is going to see much play outside of arena. It's a decent card, but I don't think it's strong enough for Standard or Wild. Unfortunately, Warrior didn't really get too much, even though they got a legendary, so that's kind of weird. If it gave the minion in your hand +1/+2 or +1/+1, I think this would be an amazing card. Like I said, not strong enough, but you will see it in arena. Mark my words. That was my review of the Wailing Caverns mini set. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video, please click the like button and subscribe. I do upload Hearthstone videos every day, and you don't want to miss out on them because you love Hearthstone. Yeah! I'll see you by the hearth, baby.